Matthew Franco, how you doing, brother? You doing
I'm
okay
good.
today?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so yeah, I heard your story about Colombia, and it
hmm
sounds like you have so many fantastic memories about that, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. All right. Today we're going to talk about getting into the little bit of the uncomfortable things, if you don't mind, So I hope you're prepared, because I got
hmm
some good questions for you. Before we get into that, have you ever, seen or on social media or on TV those people that work out a lot and they're ultra fit and they always talk about, oh man, I've gotten these results from working hard. Yeah, do you believe them in general when they say things of that nature?
I believe so, mostly. When it comes to that, yeah, I think that they have a clear life pattern that they stick to, and that they just have their whole, and not a whole life dedicated to it, but it's what they're passionate about. They're passionate about their fitness, what they eat, what they work out with. So I believe it. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So in general, you think, if you work hard for something that, you'll receive what you work for, correct?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well,
hmm
has there ever been an instance where you worked really, really hard for something and it just didn't come to fruition?
I've had my fair share of those. Yeah. No, I would say that. Off the top of my head, my main one comes from my time back in high school, I'd say, where I was basically a three sport athlete. I was soccer, track, all that
Nice.
stuff. And most of my time leading up to my like senior year of that was all, am I going to get to varsity? I want to start varsity. I want to, do all these things that will make it happen. I was like goalie for soccer. So, naturally there's only one starting goalie spot. So it's a bit of a hard one. I really worked hard. I really, thought I put in the time. But at the end of the day, it didn't work out that way. I was still just one below. I ended up just missing out on the starting spot and then eventually got hurt. So it wouldn't have really mattered anyways. But just overall, it was I just missed out on it. But it stings a little bit, but I'm not like torn up on it now as much as I was back in high school. Because, like you said, when you work really hard for something, it doesn't work out for you. It just happens.
Okay. Do you happen to remember the name of the goalie who beat you to this day?
Oh, that's a tough one. I remember his first name. I'm pretty sure it was Steve. I don't remember the last name, but I'm not even mad. He was really good.
Steve.
Yeah, I'm not mad at all. He was
Okay,
really
so we're
good.
not
I
mad
like
at
it. Like,
Steve.
no, no, not at all. He was fantastic. And like I said, I would have been more than fine, waiting my turn at like the bench or like if anything would have come up, but the injury just knocked me out of it entirely. So just didn't
Let's
work
talk
out.
about the injury. What
hmm
happened with the injury? Was it a lower leg injury? Was it a soft tissue thing? What are we talking about here?
Shoulder, my left shoulder, I separated it during a practice.
Hmm.
Just yeah, dove for something, didn't land the right way, and that was that. I mean, I probably could have come back afterwards. Like it was like a month or two I needed to stay off it. But at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to start. I'm not going to I'm gonna have to work my way
Okay.
back up. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just take it off. And I was preparing to run. I did track, running and throwing in the winter. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just keep healing, focus on my academics a little bit. And it sucked to walk away, but I don't regret it.
No, I could imagine, and look, we all have regrets. It's understandable, I
Oh
can
yeah.
ask you a regret question here, but I'm not going to. We're going to stick on our subject here.
hmm
You said there was a few of those things where you've worked hard and you didn't really
hmm
get to where you were, where you wanted to. You reluctantly told me the story, but man, I bet there's something that's juicy that you have another story for me that you're ready to tell me about. Was there another
Yeah,
instance where that happened?
I would say so. My main one that I spoke about this last week actually on my interview last week was coming out of college. And I mean, obviously everyone works hard in college. I was a business major
Mhm.
and I really wanted to get into sports marketing, sport management, anything sports related. And not
Nice.
only did I not get into sports for my career, I
Mm.
hardly even got into the industry. Like I took me a couple months after college to even get a job. I was working side gigs as like a pizza delivery guy, and just like little things in the meantime where the hard work, like you said, doesn't really pay off in that instance. Granted, I eventually, I'm at the job where I'm at now. It's been there for a couple of years. It's been great to me, but it does sting a little bit when you go into something that doesn't exactly pan out the way you want it to. And like I would much rather be working in like maybe like I don't know one of the major sports teams or sports leagues or anything of that nature. But for now, I just gotta bide my time till I get there.
I think we're all in that boat, to be honest with you,
Oh
buddy.
yeah.
So I know
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we're going to experience, our highs and
Hmm.
our lows once we get out into the real world. So,
Hmm.
but I appreciate your time. I appreciate your candor. Thank you so much. And is there anything else that we might have missed that you want to go over?
I think we covered about everything. Thank you.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate the time,
Yeah,
brother. Thank you very much.
of course. Thank you. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Matt Franco. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Angel Torres. Angel, I have one simple question to ask you here. Has there ever been a time in
Sure.
your life where something you've worked really hard for and you had your heart set on it, but it didn't quite pan out the way you wanted it to?
Man, there's a whole lot of stories that I could tell you, So I got 20 years of experience out in the field, But there's one story that really, really just, it doesn't sit with that well with me to this day. I was in the military, if you didn't know that, for over 20 years. And for inside the military, whenever you go to the next higher rank, once you start at, Sergeant E5,
Yep.
you have to go in front of a board, right? And you have to be recommended by your supervisors to attend this board. And when you go to the board, it's all the supervisors from every other company, and they go through and they talk to you. And so I go through the board. It's very tough. It's very competitive in the military. Everything is a thing. We're trying to accumulate points. And I'm in the board. I have to do some ridiculous things. They're asking me kinds of questions, and I come out, promotable, meaning I passed, right?
Great.
So
Yeah.
I grab all of my paperwork and I submit it to the right people, expecting to be promoted. And I didn't, I wasn't
Mm.
promoted. And when I went and I talked to the people that were in charge of this, they say they never received it and they have no recollection of me attending this board.
Ugh.
So yeah, I threw a fit. I didn't like I didn't like the person that I had to become,
Mhm.
to where I wanted to. But I didn't have the luxury of going to the board the next month because I deployed the following month to the Middle East, and I was gone for 18
Yeah.
months. So I had to do all of that stuff over there in the sand. It's just so much more difficult to get anything done over there. And I think that's my biggest, what if.
Mhm. So you said you were in the service for 20 years. At what point in your military career did this board meeting take place?
Yeah, so I'm 85 in 2004.
Mm.
So this was middle of 2006 when I was getting ready to become a staff sergeant E6
Yeah.
in the
So
military.
this was, you had a couple of years to go after you were done there. How did you manage to even, put on a good face and show up to work every day after you got robbed of your
It was
position?
tough.
Hmm.
It was very tough. So I was actually one of the first people to leave. It's called Advon. So boom,
Okay.
they get a select group over there to set everything up to receive the main body, right? The majority of the people that are going to come over and
Hmm.
get a fight. So it was a couple of months that allowed me to cool off before I saw those same people that did this to me. So there was a whole lot of things. I don't know what a DA Form 600 is, and I push that for all of my future soldiers that are out there. It's just basically a receipt. I sign it, you sign it, and it shows all the information and all of the paperwork that I turn into you. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that stuck with me every. I've been
Yeah.
retired a few years, and I still remember that form. So yeah, it really bothered me.
Mm. Did anything ever come of the situation once you came back from the Middle East, or was it just
No,
at
I
that
was
point you
actually
gone?
No, I was actually promoted out there, So,
Oh,
but
okay.
those fine people that lost my paperwork, just in great army tradition, they all got promoted, while they were out there too. So, yeah, go figure, So,
And,
when I did my job bad, people told me about it.
oh yeah.
I knew it and I felt it. On in that section, you get promoted. So maybe I picked the
Mhm.
wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, I think you picked a great job. But outside of that, did you have any bad experience with the military? I mean, anything you regret about it, or did you mostly enjoy your time there?
When I joined the military, I told myself, "Hey, look, I'm just gonna do this, get money for college, and then
Hmm.
I'll be gone." And then once I figured out, hey, I could get paid and go to college at the same time, why not? And that's when I went to go get my undergraduate.
Hmm.
And by the time I was ready to leave, it was like, man, I should just finish. I'm almost done. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I got scooped up. Nothing but good things to say about the military. So
Hmm. That's good. Yeah, I
yeah,
have
I guess
friends and
people.
family going through it as well. Same, all the different branches. So it's always interesting to hear different stories, even if it involves, you know, you getting taking your promotion taken from you. But listen, I'm happy you got it at the end of the day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and
No, of course.
have a great night.
Oh, hey, same
All right.
to you, and thank everyone for their service on your side of the family.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.